so close to the screen. Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome back to the channel. I'm trying to go live on Instagram, and we'll see if it is going to let me, but I don't know. There we go. And I'm so excited today because we are having a launch party for my friend Jen, who used to work for Quiltable and grew Quiltable to the thing that everybody loves. And then things happened, and now she's off on her own. Mickey's the first one in the chat. So Mickey also loves Jen. We all love Jen. Jen just is amazing. So without further ado, wait. Pew, 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 pew. Here's Jen, everybody.
Thanks. Thank you for that esports shout out there with the air horn.
Happy Tuesday, whatever. There's some like sporty thing.
Oh, because I'm like, oh my gosh, no, it's Friday, right?
No, there's some sports thing where it's like Happy Tuesday, special teams, special plays.
Gotcha.
TikTok stuff. Oh, there's Stacy. Hi, Stacy. So everybody, Jen is here, and you can see by her name, it says Jen Eskridge, Quilty Quill. Now, some of you know of Quilty Quill. Some of you don't know of Quilty Quill, and Quilty Quill is Jen's new baby. I'm so excited for it because it is an education website, and I'm going to start talking. And Jen, if I say anything wrong, just shake your head.
Oh,
no.
Yeah, go ahead. You knock
It's
it
an
out.
education website for us, for those who want to learn to draw, for those of you who want to learn to digitize. And shocking, I thought today was the first. I'm like, let's go live. It's on the big kickoff day, blah, blah, blah. The first is tomorrow. So we're doing an Adam So Fun kickoff day. One of my favorite things is Jen is going to pass on the ASF 10 code. I am dropping the link in the comments. This is my affiliate link. So yes, I do get a little kickback, but we're going to help Jen grow. And yeah, Jen, you can't see any of the comments, huh?
No, I can.
Oh, can you? Oh,
yes, that is a quilt behind me, and it is the sample that is demonstrated and made in the whole cloth digital process class on the Quilty Quill. So it's a workshop class. It took me a few days to film and organize. Probably it feels like a lifetime to get the skills, but then I broke down the skills, shared them, and whenever you take the class, you can make something kind of similar. I stitched it at 15 and a half inches. So my head, maybe, what is that? Probably like 7. So it's a little bit bigger than, no, I'm just kidding. It's just,
I'm like looking at it. That's not the one I stitched. I made one really small.
Yeah, no, this is a brand new one. Cause I finished the workshop. I've been working like crazy to make classes and workshops to offer. Right now I have 49 courses in Pro Stitcher Designer and in drawing, because on occasion when I would teach any computer items at like Handy Quilter Academy or wherever, it would be, oh, but I don't know how to draw, so I'm not even going to mess with that. Does that sound like anyone you know, Mr. Adam?
Jen,
so anyway, I draw quite a lot. So I said, well, wait a second, I could put these two together and, you know, see what comes out. So I'm right now, the site Quilty Quill is kind of more drawing with a purpose to get you to making quality designs in Pro Stitcher Designer, right? Draw, digitize, learn, create. But I think this may come up, but I currently do not sell any any digital designs. Some of the classes may have designs that you get because we're going to edit them. And then all of the classes will get you closer to making your own. But I don't have like, log in, I'm going to buy this edge to edge because I made a soccer ball quilt and I need a soccer ball. I don't have that yet. But again, the whole Quilty Quill concept has been building for a while, but the actual website and all of the real deal elements, it's only been since April. I've been working like crazy. I've had the site tested. Right. I've had a few friends go through and check it out, but I haven't, it hasn't been out there all that long. So give me a little time and I'll get some more stuff out there for you.
I remember when you first were thinking about it, because I got a text saying, I have a genius idea. And then I feel like it was just around the corner and you're like, hey, can you look at my site? And I'm like, you just had that idea. Like, so you had.
So I used to travel. I'm an author of 5 books, and I traveled and lectured quilting things and quilting techniques and processes just how my brain works and how I break it down. This is what lives in the book, and now I'm going to tell you about it. That was kind of how the lectures would go. But in my lecture, I generally would start with, I really love computers and I really love the sewing machine, and they're kind of like equal babies to me. Like, I just love both of them. So yeah, Pro Stitcher Designer was definitely where those two got married. So there's that. But anyway, so on the website, I put on there, because some people don't draw and they, still want to be sewing or making an original design or making something just for themselves. So I put, my degree is in apparel design. So it's sewing and quilting, or sewing and drawing. So when I would lecture, I would say, oh, my degree's in sewing and drawing, but it's like Project Runway without all the crying. It's just sewing, drawing. But now it's just kind of morphed into sewing and drawing, and I don't have to manage fit because every quilt will fit on a bed, right?
Oh, right. You just have to fit your borders.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I measured before. That's true. That is true.
So I'm super excited. I've taken a few of the classes through driving around and everything. But I was on this morning. I called Jen. This all came because I called Jen last night. I was like, let's do a launch party. Or I didn't call her. I sent her a text and she's like, family night. Let's talk tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, first thing in the morning then. And it was 6 o'clock my time, me not thinking like, oh, but I wanted to make sure she had enough time that I could be like, we're doing this. No questions asked. So.
Well, I had set up to, when I first said, okay, this is what I'm doing. I worked at Pro Stitcher. I worked at Quiltable. I've worked a few other places. Those are all listed online. I don't need to be all horn tooting per se, but I've worked at a few places, and I'm always excited that, when the plan comes together, but I really, really like planning. I really like scheduling. So I set it up. I said, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to launch on June 1st. Totally stoked about that. And then, yeah, like Adam said, he called and was like, hey, let's do this. And I'm like, okay, well, then it'll be an exclusive for your fans because the 1st is tomorrow. So this is the official launch sneak peek for Adam. Does your fan base, Adam So Fun, does your fan base have like a collective name, like not Swifties?
No, I just call them the So Fun community. I actually just call them all my kids.
Okay, not like So Funnies or whatever. Okay,
we probably could. Talk amongst yourselves. Give yourselves a name. Mickey says she's taken some of your classes and you're so inspirational.
Oh, thank you, Mickey, and thank you because the folks that were trying out the classes for me, some of them were family members who had no idea really what I spend my days doing, and then others are folks like Adam who are proficient and travel and educate and really know what should be happening. And like Mickey also could very easily say, Jen, why the heck did you do this one thing? And then I can say, oh, I misspoke. Or you're right, I don't know my left and my right. No, I'm just kidding. But there are a couple errors with anyway, left and right. But yeah, I was very excited that have testers of all ranges to be able to like really hold me accountable. So that was nice.
It's like Mickey said, inspirational, especially when you're not somebody who can make designs themselves. Okay,
well, so I want to touch on that a little bit more because I had a couple younger people testing the site for me, and the one said, and they're the kind of people that you want your testers to be frank. That's all there is to it. The brutal honesty is fantastic, is what you have to tell yourself every day. But they said, young people don't own printers. And I said, what? Because a lot of the drawing classes have a worksheet. You print the worksheet. We work together real slowly. We draw 3 things. I'm drawing one. You can pause whenever you want. You draw one. And we make this really complicated looking design. It's never actually complicated, always complicated looking. And anyway, she said, we don't own printers. So I went and put together a actual book that has the pages in it. And this is just going to be on Amazon. It's just a workbook that has the pages. So that's how it looks. But then this is like my proof copy. So it's a different color. But right there, just blipped out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's going to do it because it thinks you're a background.
Yes, for sure. So this one is significantly more advanced, right? Because I have much more designs there on the top, but this one does look more complicated. But it's really all the exact same method, which I break down. We draw different shapes. We talk about the importance of a design library so that you can always have reference designs. Even, Adam, when you free motion quilt, if you're not really a free motion willy-nilly kind of quilter. You're more organized, I would say.
I'm a kind of a willy-nilly, but I kind of talk about the same thing when I'm teaching like basic free motion, is that you have to build your design library.
Yeah,
well,
kind of because if you're thinking, I want to make something new, I want to make this cool shape, and then, oh yeah, I've run out of ideas. I just did something that looks like a comma at the beginning of this row, and I just did some straight lines in the middle. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do next. Sideways commas. Well, anyway, when you have your library, which is provided in the front of the book, and then we work to say how we can grow this library, and also then how we can digitize this library. It's a whole thing, drawing and quilting, having my two loves come together.
I have a question. Is the book available now?
It is, yeah.
Do you sell it from your website, or is it only Amazon?
So my website has links to Amazon products. Okay. So you will leave my site to go purchase them. There's not a store within, but all, like many people who share things and use things, there are affiliate links that say, these are the exact pins Jen uses. This is the paper Jen uses. When I'm watching TV, I have this cool light that wraps around your neck, and it has these two lights like this. It's fantastic for handwork. We
were just talking about that at the quilt store yesterday.
You saw it? You know what it is? The little...
I've seen them, but we were talking about a light like that because I've been doing needle or cross stitch, and I needed it. Like, I need more light. So
yeah, no, that around the neck thing, I have that because when I'm drawing, I'll watch TV. It's usually darker, and then I can just draw with my little light on. It's fantastic. But yeah, so and because as you know, there's generally so many ideas flooding out of my poor brain. I've definitely got lots of notes for upcoming classes and upcoming things, but I'm trying to work in sections and phases so that I have Pro Stitcher Designer, things I want to make, things I'm going to use, things I'm going to finish up this other quilt for somebody else, and I want to make this one thing. I bet that's a common question that my customers and my quilters would have. But I also there's still so many areas I still want to explore. So.
Right. Well, I mean, like I said, when I was on this morning and when I was talking to you, and I'm like, oh, basics classes. And I was looking through and I'm like, well, there's no, I didn't see any basics, but it's all the package. And so whenever I got there, I'm like, oh my gosh, this touches on every single thing that someone would need to learn just to learn that program. So that alone is totally worth it. Yes, question.
Can we switch to the site and I can show them where all of the basics classes are? So Adam set me up to let me share share my screen and share the website with you.
While we're going, Wayna says she's taking classes and they're awesome. And apparently you do something very fun with fonts. And Bridget, I have no clue how long those surge protectors last, the battery backups. You'd have to check with the people. I just Googled one and got it on Amazon. So there's not one that I necessarily recommend. I have one in my Amazon shop, but sorry, I wanted to get some questions answered.
Yeah, no problem.
It's such a pretty site too.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I digitized some things because I would say maybe 60% of the drawing classes involve this mandala design because it lets you practice that shape in every orientation, like a compass orientation. I just have a lot of mandalas on there, so I wanted to go ahead and digitize them and use them. So those are in the background there.
I always thought you just loved mandalas.
I do like them. They're very peaceful and they're very meditative. And when you work small, you can make them in a reasonable amount of time without, too much frustration. Right. So as luck would have it, this is Emily. You remember Emily? She and I worked together at Pro Stitcher, and she took some classes, and I also taught her Pro Stitcher Designer when she first came on. And
we actually were just talking about Emily on Tuesday because Emily, on her own designs and on her site, and she's offering everybody the ASF 10 discount for 15% off Digitized Design. So
yeah, and she was one of my testers, so that should give you a little information there. The Pro Stitcher Designer Basics class right here. This is the quickest way to get to it right here on the homepage. If I click it, it'll pop up with a little overview of me saying what we're going to learn and why I have the class. But it has in our class, we make some things. So it's not necessarily like a handful of other overview classes where you go into Pro Stitcher Designer and you say, okay, the shape tool moves nodes around. All right, we've moved it. That's it. We're going to go in, we'll say the shape tool moves nodes around. This is how you make an edge-to-edge design, or how you clean up a design moving those nodes or anchor points. So we make some things. Some of them are shown here. We make a lot more than that. And then if it's okay, I just wanted to mention the pricing.
Oh yeah, no, totally.
So if you take a class by a Pro Stitcher Designer person who is teaching this at your shops, it's fantastic. It's usually a couple of days. It's a different price point. With these classes, if you purchase this once, you have access to all the courses that I'm getting ready to scroll down to while also making content. I kind of feel like I'm shooting myself in the foot, but I also want to be very transparent, right? If you sign up for the membership, you just commit yourself to say, I'm going to learn this summer on holiday or whatever. You pay 3 months and bounce. That's cool too. Now, now it's even less. The trick will be just self-discipline, right? Telling yourself, I'm going to learn this. And then if you don't want to subscribe anymore, you don't have to. So here are some of the classes, and there's always upcoming classes. We've got overview, we've got tools, trim, weld, and intersect. Some of the popular ones that I think will resonate with people is the text tool, the slice tool, and what combine, connect, and group do differently. Because they're wildly similar and a little frustrating, but they do actually do different things. And I'm happy to tell you, I know what they do. So you too will know what they do. So, there's some quick tips if you want to make a few of these. Once you purchase the Pro Stitcher Designer Basics class, all of these prices go out to zero and you don't have to pay anything. Like if it's in a bundle, you can just have it.
Right. And and remember, you can use code ASF10 and get 10% off the price of that class. And there's a link in the comments that will take you straight to Jen's website.
I just went ahead and clicked on the drawing classes because I know some folks will say, I have Pro Stitcher Designer. It came with my machine. I'm never going to mess with it. That's cool. If you want to draw and relax, I'm here for you too. Also, if you're using Pro Stitcher Designer, it came with your machine, you're never going to activate it. That's also fine because when you use the Pro Stitcher Designer demo, you just can't save your design. And Adam, correct me if I'm wrong, you can't send it to your long arm, right?
No. No, it's if you're in demo mode, you're using the functions, but because you can't save it, you can't use it.
Right. Okay. And so the classes I have, if you want to just play around in demo mode and see if that's something that appeals to you, because I have a few free classes, you can do it. If you just want to draw, that's totally fine. We've got options. And then, there's some drawing supplies and how I organize things and stuff in this little Amazon bit at the bottom there.
Nice. I think if for those of you who don't have Designer, if you are interested in that, I think my ASF 10 code on ProStitcher.com will work on the Designer program. I think. So that'll save you 10% over there too, but I'm not really sure.
I don't have any answer for that for sure.
Yeah, I do want to make note because there is that class Jen just showed us is the basics, and there are other advanced Pro Stitcher classes, designer classes. They are included in that basics. That basics is the basics package with I think 25 or so classes in it. There's so many classes. I was just shocked.
Yeah, there's quite a few. And then as Adam knows, because we've worked together before, whenever you're in Pro Stitcher Designer and you're making something, you're following along and you're like, okay, I can move this here. And then as a student, you're saying, I don't know why she moved that here. I think I would move mine down and to the right. and you like it, and then you're like, oh, what about down and to the left? Well, now you have 2 designs. So although I'm showing you how to make one thing in that one class, trust me, you're probably going to make way more than that in that class. But those are all the basics. I do have, so you can see these little feathers right here, or quills, if you will. You can see these little quills indicate the skill level. So 1 being the easiest, 3 being the most difficult. I found that there wasn't too much. There's a few really great designers out there, of course, but there's not too much information and classes for advanced Pro Stitcher users, largely because there's just not that many people who are wanting to do that on that level.
Mm-hmm.
But I know how to use the software, so I thought, hey, I could just make some tutorials. So we have, well, this is a only beginner, catching a wave, putting your nesting design in a wave right there, the anatomy of a feather, how you can make, there's a trick to it, because when I digitized for Pro Stitcher and Quiltable, there was a certain volume that we needed, right? So I had to get going and learn fast and make fast. Since then, I've honed some techniques for sure. Tracing architecture, I think, yeah, this one makes at least 14 designs, and I didn't even touch on this one part, and that's just from one photo. So anyway, it does get out of control. I have a design that I made and is for sale at Pro Stitcher, and I can't think of what it's called, decorative something or another. I've altered it slightly, but when I made it, it has gaps in it. I don't know if you can see my tiny little mouse. There's a little gap right there, and it's always drove me bonkers. So I said, hey, let's show you how to fill in a gap. If you want to make it so that your quilt has more coverage, you can see in the background, it has a little more coverage there. I wonder if I have the whole photo in here. Yeah, there you go. Here's some gaps.
Oh gosh.
And here's how you can clean it up where there's no gaps.
It looks so different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, it's definitely more dense, but
Mm-hmm.
you can always scale that, of course. And then each of the courses have this, it's broken down. You could isolate shapes, you audition them and put them back together. And then this is how you save. They're all in little chunks so that you're not sitting there for half a day, breaking for a sandwich, and another half a day. You can have little chunks. And once you have the course, you can always watch it, rewatch it, pause it, whatever you like.
Right. And I am being somebody who has seen, and I was telling Jen this morning, she is such a good technical writer for writing those instructions. And I use some of her handouts that she made for Pro Stitcher, and that she made for Pro Stitcher Designer when we taught together. And they were just so good because every step's accounted for. It's let me tell you why we're doing it kind of thing. And that's one of the things I've always appreciated about working with you, is because it wasn't just like, here, we're going to do it. It was always like, oh, look how I can do this. And it was just when we were sitting together, I mean, when we did that live and I'm like, oh, let's make Bakersfield blocks or whatever. And you made all those diamonds. And it was just because we were playing and you were playing, like, I love watching you create that way. But like when you take the time to actually write the instructions down, it's like Jen's brain on paper. Except more.
So I will say there are not printable PDFs for these classes per se, but you will always have them and you can always go back and watch them, and they are always broken down into steps. Mm-hmm. But when you take Adam's classes, you may or may not have a PDF that I may have wrote at some point. So
I made sure it said Jen Eskridge at the bottom.
Awesome.
But, so yours is like mine. Just follow along. Take your notes. Take the notes the way that you need them.
That was a pretty fun meetup live that we did, because Adam had approached me and said, hey, can you just demo some designer? And I'm like, yes. But then he says, how about diamonds for this thing I'm doing in December? And I said, oh, yeah, let's do that on the spot. And it turned out okay. But I think that definitely helped spur me along in I would love to show people how I've learned and really honed what I do in Designer, because I think I have, I don't know, maybe like 1,200 designs for sale over on ProStitcher.com. And they're not all winners. That's just how the design process works. You know, some are better than others. Some appeal to other people than the masses. You know what I mean? Like it's a whole, but once you have the power to create this or the power to draw and then digitize it, it's going to be amazing.
Right.
I mean, let me see if I have this, if I have a photo. Yeah. So we make at least 16 designs from this, which is not, I repeat, not a Pokeball.
Now I'm always going to see it.
I know, right?
You.
But we are not looking for any trouble from any legal people. But it's only like 4 inches. I mean, what are you going to catch with a 4-inch poke? Anyway, so anyway, we go through and kind of see the process of these basic steps in Designer. You can apply to lots of shapes and things, and it will get you to a more robust digital library if that's something you want. It's pretty cool. Oh, explain how the catalog works? Sure thing, Bridget. Is that okay? Adam, if I just read it? Okay. Okay. So on the website, there are free printable pages that include a catalog of designs that you probably aren't going to be able to see because, you can kind of see it.
Hold on. No, now it disappeared. If you go closer to the screen or closer to the camera.
We're backgrounding. Sorry, Bridget. There we go. Oh, hold still.
Don't move.
Take a mental picture. So I have provided 108 kind of simple motifs that relate to each other that you can always have. You can always trace over them. And in this free printout, there's 108 designs. Then there's a couple of pages that are just blank squares so that as you draw or as you think of something or after this video, you want to go on the website and just draw, you know, maybe one of these shapes behind me, you can put that in the little block and always use it as a reference. It's more of a, so you don't really ever stall out while you're quilting or drawing. You can think, you know, I'd like to have all swirled hooks. I'd like to have all swirl hooks on whatever I'm making. Maybe you're setting up a SVG file for engraving or cutting. And you're like, I've already drawn 2 hooks. I'm kind of out. I don't know what else I can make. Well, you can always reference your library and say, oh, that's right. Because there's a section for notes. You know, you should say, oh, that's right. I made that in this class. I definitely digitized it. It's in this folder. Or, oh, I like that design. I'm going to use it in my next project that I'm drawing out. So it's more of a reference. Well, just like the word library would imply, I guess. It's more of a reference for you to never get creative brain block.
I like that. Okay, you're going back to the screen.
Oh, all right, sure. So let's see.
How many drawing classes do you have right now?
So I really wanted to launch focusing on Pro Stitcher Designer, certainly because I know Handy Quilter Academy is coming up, and I know a lot of folks are going to be amped up like, oh, I just took this class at Academy. It was insane. I want them to come home and say, I want more knowledge. Where can I get it? At the Quilty Quill. And you can use ASF 10 to get a little discount.
Can't go to Academy. This is a much cheaper option.
Yeah, and I don't charge anything for the hotel. No. So I only have 7. I will say that this design Genesis, see what I did there with the Gen? Did you see that? Did you get that?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know, right? Anyway, in this class, we start with a basic mandala, and I know it looks complicated. That's the whole point. It looks complicated. We made it with just 3 shapes. They're right here, and I walk you through how we make it. And then we digitize those 3 shapes. I have this teardrop here, I have this curly fellow, and I have my donut. And then we manipulate the design to see how from start to finish, you can go from, I drew 3 shapes right here, to now I have whatever, 14 or 15 or 16 designs, right? And these are the ones I made, you know, that I made in the class. This is where my brain flow was taking me. I'm not sure how many you'll make. You'll probably make a lot.
But just to show how you can do that with just those basic shapes. So is this like a hybrid class then? Does it have?
Yeah, this is a both one.
Okay. Awesome.
And in each class, I try to put, you don't need to know how to draw necessarily. We're not sitting here making a whole cityscape with a cat and a tree and a fireman running up or anything like that. We're literally making a circle, a curl, and a teardrop. And I actually outline tricks for how to even make the shapes, because we use a grid base in the classes. So I walk you through how to make those shapes as well. But yeah, these two mandalas look, so in my mind, they look totally different. You may not be seeing that. You may be like, no, one's blue, one's orange. But they really do. They're made from the exact same 3 shapes, and they still give different results. I could take the same 3 shapes and, for 5 days a week and have 5 completely different looks. Mm-hmm. And then ultimately, we digitize it into a mandala and make some shapes, or rather we make the shapes first. You can make a mandala if you want to. You make some edge to edge designs. It's a pretty comprehensive workshop, I guess. Oh, well, let's go down to the courses though, real quick. Sorry, I hope that scrolling isn't making anybody nauseous. So all of the courses are nested in here, and they are also each broken down into steps. So none of this is waking up, looking at this thing going, holy crap, there's no way I could digitize that.
Draw that mandala. For step 1, draw this mandala.
Yeah, exactly. We're definitely never going to do that. There is not a class to digitize from logos. There is classes for digitizing from pictures and graphics, and that would be the Baltimore class and the Concord, New Hampshire class. And they just happen to both be cities. One is where I took the photo, and the other one, of course, is a Baltimore album. So Concord has a photo that we trace, and then Baltimore has a photo that is public domain, Baltimore album quilt that we trace. And then the same, you still work with a couple of elements. This is a huge Baltimore album quilt that has loads of elements. I want to say it's from, I don't even know if I have it in the description. I feel like I do, though. 1845. So it's an insane, beautiful quilt. And I only took out, I think, 3 elements to use to get 10 designs. So that kind of mental process is what I hope to share. And I hope that people are receptive to it. I think partly, if somebody came up to you and, well, maybe not you, because you just have to say, Adam, I want some awesome geometric ruler lines. And you would be like, yes, done.
Lines, rule, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Diamonds.
If somebody tasks me with, I want 10 designs and I want them to feature bells, or I want to feature holly leaves or something, there's no way I'm going to sit down and just magically make 10 designs. I listened to a professor, this was just last year at a lecture, and he said, no good ideas come from the ink at the front of your pen. You just have to get it all out, and all the good ideas are back here at the back. And I'm like, that is exactly how I work. I mean, there might be a good idea at the front of the pen, but probably not. You got to get to that ink in the back. That's where the good stuff is. So that's what I do. Like I just make, and then I can go back and edit again, like Project Runway. I just picture Tim Gunn saying, I need to edit my choices and take out a few things and only keep the winners.
Right. You do have a class in your basics on auto digitizing, though. Correct?
Yes, I do. And
just depending on what you're looking for.
Yeah, I don't. I guess auto digitizing would work on some logos, especially if it's a high contrast logo. And I would just take the time to say right here, I definitely don't advise doing that on anything that's copywritten or that can get you in trouble or that you would sell. So just want to throw that out there.
Right.
But in these classes, I will generally say, in my process, I do or don't use this type of thing often, because this is the objective of this tool, and I typically don't design that way. So specifically auto vectorize, we do have that option in here, but I don't love using that.
Oh, and I do, because I can't draw. Again, not things that I would necessarily sell, but I did, when Mickey and I were teaching a few weeks ago, she was teaching, I was playing on my computer, and a girl came in with a Hufflepuff purse, and I took a picture of it with my phone, and then I digitized the badger.
Oh, okay.
Use auto digitize, because I'm never going to be able to draw that. And then when she left, I said, here, don't sell this, but I made you a design.
Okay. Well, that was very thoughtful for you.
I know. And then I just really wanted to stitch it, but I didn't because it was the last day and we had to pack them and leave.
Well, I feel like this lesson title right here kind of sums up how I feel about it. Auto vectorize will draw your lines, sorta.
Oh yeah, true, 100%. Yes, so, I did a lot of cleanup on that.
Yeah, exactly. And I zoom in and I show those elements as well. Another thing I personally, while we're here, I also don't use a ton of is the text tool for text. I am not, because I produced commercially available digital designs, I wasn't necessarily personalizing, Joni 2004, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. I'm just, sometimes there'll be a word like peace or celebrate or something, it's more, but I think at-home quilters would want to have the option to personalize something. I use the text so that I can extract cool shapes. Generally, that's the same reason why I would use auto vectorize. If I vectorize something and I get a cool shape out of it, that's worth it. But to vectorize it and say, this is going to turn out to be an awesome block. Yeah, I don't find that it does.
So you're just cutting up, you're just getting things for the chop shop.
Exactly. And okay, so wait, speaking of the chop shop.
While Jen goes to the chop shop, what you don't know, unless you've been a fan of the channel for a while, we call the chop shop this page of shapes that Jen keeps and uses. Basically how that mandala class was 3 different shapes. She will design things and then she'll cut pieces out and keep them in the chop shop to use later.
Yes, here I can I think I can find some. Maybe I can't.
She has Pro Stitcher Designer open just in case I get off track.
I think, what will Mickey say about that?
Mickey sent me a text and said I have to go to the store. I have to run it down. I'll finish watching later. I see. This is the Mandala's class that I've taken, correct?
No, this is a brand new workshop that lets you create an entire whole cloth. But in this process, we were talking about the chop shop. In order to get like pieces,
that book.
What's that?
I have that book.
In order to get the pieces that come in here, you can take any of the classes before in the Quilty Quill. This is an advanced class. There's a lot going on here. But you can take any of the classes from the Quilty Quill where we've digitized and saved things. And I do recommend saving your messy workspace as the chop shop. So then when you're in Pro Stitcher Designer and you're getting ready to take this class, you're like, oh, I'm not going to draw all that. That's a lot. It's not. It's 7 pieces. You can draw it. I know that sounds crazy, but you definitely can. You can actually go into Pro Stitcher Designer, and when you click open a file, in the search bar, you can put Chop Shop, and it will show you everything that you've ever named with Chop Shop on the end. So now you have all of these digital resources to say, oh, I made this in so-and-so class. I'm just going to pick that one, drop it in my new project. I made this in so-and-so other class. I'm going to pick this one, drop it in my other new project, So although I did draw this one on the day I was making it, I wanted it to stand alone because not everybody would have taken previous classes. So in this, we work through, here's 7 pieces. These could have been made elsewhere in a different class, copied and pasted from a chop shop, and then squished into place.
Right.
Or you can make them fresh, and then we work through, we make a frame, which is based on I'm just going to shamelessly say this, my book, Free Motion Framework. We make a digital frame. We color in some spaces, arrange them, and then ultimately we will arrange them here, organize them for stitching, connect them together. And then I have some bonus content because, of course, after I finished the whole flow and everything, I was like, oh, you know what else would be good? So anyway, yeah, there's a couple of bonus things at the bottom. This one is a big class. It is a lot, and it will make a big visually impactful, cool looking design. This is actually the same process I used for just for fun, for reference. At the top of Adam's So Fun Facebook page, there is a Judy Niemeyer quilt, and it is this rich Merlot color. And what the heck quilt is she talking about? It's called Lotus, I believe. And this is the exact process I used to digitize the designs for that quilt. And then Adam said, yeah, I'll make that, sure. And then, yep, there you go. Then he made it, and that is for sale on ProStitcher.com.
That just looks like the quilt.
But now they'll know what to look for, what colors to look for when they go check it out. But yeah, this is the same process. So it's a pretty neat,
really quick
process.
You're going to disappear, but you're still there.
Oh yeah, no, there it is. Yeah.
So you can see the quilting in it. Now I just have to figure out how to get us all back.
I'm good.
This is one of my favorite quilts.
I'm glad I had a little hand in that.
A little hand, you had a big hand. Oh, so good. I don't know where that quilt is, though. I think it got lost.
Oh, it's probably at Superior. Did you send it for the thread?
I did, but I think they sent it back.
Oh. Well, there you go. Well, so...
And then it disappeared.
So one thing, the platform in which I have this set up is it's powered by a much bigger service, right? And it accepts Stripe and PayPal, and all of that is secure. And then when you log in, you'll see a link up here that says My Courses. You know, it shows you anything you've ever purchased. And I think I've covered all the highlights. Of course, right when we hop off, I'll be like, oh, I forgot to talk about this one thing. Because
of course,
I'm so excited about it because I only know a few things, right? Like my kids grew up okay. I super love them. I think my husband's fantastic. I know that about myself. And I really, really know how to draw and sew. And that's it. Like I'm not that complicated. That's it.
Forget about board games.
Yeah, I lost at euchre last night.
Dang it. We're ending this now. Click.
You should totally do that in the edit. So are there any more comments or questions that we might hit up?
Yeah, any questions for Jen about Quilty Quill? You know, it took me a while to realize quill. Oh, like something you draw with.
Yes. Well, so I want to, and this is the crazy part because I need to go effectively learn some animation or make a friend who knows some animation. But what I want to do is, so this is a sewing machine needle. It's not like needle and thread because that's not exactly what we're working with. This is a sewing machine needle as the spine of the feather. And then if we're really going to get sentimental, my feather has 5 notches for the people in my family. But I would like to see the feather move across a screen and draw out a stitching line. But we're not there yet. Oh, yeah. Again, it's an evolution. It's a whole process. Oh,
does this ever expire?
No, I don't believe so. Once you buy them,
you email the owner.
Yeah.
Remember that one time on that live with Adam? You said no.
No, I mean, if you purchase the class and find that it expires, you can message me, quiltyquill@gmail.com, and I will set you right back in it. But no, I don't think it expires. I'm under the impression that they're evergreen. Once you purchase it, you have access to it.
Mm-hmm. But I will put out there, she is learning a new program.
I do know that I have the ability to set access. So later, if we do like a quilt along or something like that, so the chain link quilt along that was hosted last August, I stitched those. It was hosted on ProStitcher.com. So I stitched those. This is going to sound bananas because I sew quickly. I did it in about a week, and I photoed as I was making this whole thing, did it in about a week, and then blocked that into blog posts and scheduled them as newsletters. So that is how the process for the Pro Stitcher quilt along went last summer. But I think if I'm able to, I can set up classes that have a limited access time, and we'll see. Because I mean, the whole website is an evolution, with the main jumping off point being Pro Stitcher designer at all levels. So
right,
that's all. My sentence just ended. It just stalled out. Sentence ended.
It's because you're a creative. Barb Sarah said she's taken a few and she loves it. She can't wait for more.
Awesome.
Bridget's going to watch them over and over until it sinks in. Bridget, you're like me. 20th time, I might learn it, but at least I know I watched it once.
There are not printable directions in the classes, but you can always have your class open. If you work in two, what's the word I'm looking for? If you work on two screens, you can always have the class open in one and then follow along with the other. Or if you have it open on your phone, if you have it open on your phone, it's going to be very hard to see all the stuff I click on in Pro Stitcher Designer. Though I do think if you have it open on your phone, you will be able to take the drawing classes.
If you have an Apple TV, you can throw your phone up on the TV.
Oh, you know what? With my regular iPhone, I can throw my TV. I can throw my phone onto any TV where there's wireless. If you swipe down, usually there's a hotkey that says screen mirroring, and you just tap that.
Oh yeah. So yeah. So if you're at a place where you can screen mirror, you can watch on the TV and then work on your computer.
Yeah, that is smart.
Or sit with a notepad and take notes. I always I like to take notes because then I know that they're written in a way that I need to see them. Like that was one of my things with some of the older handy quilter. Like that's where Adam So Fun started, because the way that things were taught, it wasn't the way that I grasped them. I needed things done the way that I like to learn, and I'm like, there has to be other people out there like me. So that's where Adam So Fun started. And if you can all drag and drop now because you watch me, you're all going to be able to digitize because you watch Jen. Okay. I'm not writing nothing down.
I really, honestly, if somebody, like I said earlier, if you said, hey, make a 10-piece collection based on so-and-so, you would be so overwhelmed and think you are out of your fool mind if I'm just going to sit down and make 10 magical things.
Right.
Okay, don't. Do it this other way. I got a whole system. It's a whole design system that's just, you change one thing, it evolves, you change another thing, it evolves. I like the system. I'm very comfortable in it. And I hope that I've broken it down in the classes that other people can also be comfortable. And then at the end, you're going to say, oh, I just made a whole collection with 15 things.
Mm-hmm.
What's this 10 you were wasting my time with? I've got 15.
Well, it's amazing. Like, cause I do a Pro Stitcher class where we go in and we take one design and just the way that you combine it to other pieces, mm-hmm. You're making a collection of designs. And it's amazing how different flipping them one way versus flipping them the other way.
Oh, for sure.
And then thinking in terms of triangles versus squares versus sashing or putting things together with offsets. Like it's amazing the different number of things you can create. But
when you see the font class.
Font.
Not in the basics. It's a font advanced class. Where we're extracting shapes. There's a cool trick in that one too.
Oh, nice. All right. Any final words before we jump out today, Jen?
I'm sorry. I was just reading Kathy's note there.
We both got quiet because we started reading.
Yeah. Is this a digitized whole cloth design program? There is one course for creating a whole cloth, but there's loads of other courses in there that will get you to be making shapes on your way to building a whole cloth. So it's just a website for education that Adam's just dropped right there. And Adam, can you remind me the coupon again?
It's really hard to remember. It's ASF 10. I think you started that, actually.
I know. It was like full circle. Yeah, a few years ago.
Right? Jen is the original ASF 10 coupon giver. But if I do have a coupon somewhere, it's always ASF 10. So even if it's not 10%, it just try ASF 10. Try it at the grocery store. Who knows? Maybe one day.
Since this is the Adam So Fun community, children student release, if you sign up on the website to join the newsletter or just to be a user on the website, as I roll out the real launch, June 1st, tomorrow, you will receive emails and additional coupons. I will say, I have no idea if the coupons stack, so that will be a fun thing to try. That'll be awesome.
Oh yeah, so go subscribe.
Yeah. So we'll try it.
So you're Quilty Quill everywhere, right?
Yes. Yes, I am. And soon I'll be adding more photos, more quilted photos, more process, more animations of things stitching out, whether it's on the screen or if it's actually stitching. So I'm very excited. Thank you so much for letting me come talk to the friends. The hive mind that we need to name, ASF. Okay.
Well, now that I'm with Laura Star, someone's like, really, it's ASS. And I'm like, what? And she's like, Adam's so steamy. And I'm like, okay, I definitely need that.
I feel a collection of stickers coming on.
ASFS.
Well, just remember.
ASFAS.
Adam's so
fun and steamy.
That might mean something else.
Hey, really quick. Do you have, because I'm on Facebook, you have the Quilty Quill public group.
I do. And then I have a private student group that once you enroll in a class, you'll receive an email that says, hey, you enrolled if you want to join the student group. And now keep in mind, we're launching. So there's like 4 people in there and 2 of them are me. And 1 might be my mom.
I was going to be one, but I can't go on I have to go on my other Facebook.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, there are Facebook
Quill page. Is it just the public group that's the page?
So the page that is associated with it in an efforts to keep things more streamlined for myself is Jen Eskridge Quilts. There's a bit more following there and it's got a little bit more footing. It's from when I authored my books and traveled and lectured. So it's in Jen Eskridge Quilts is the page. And one of the groups for that page is the Quilty Quill. Another group that might be appealing to this group here is the Long Arm Quilter Mastermind. We've got about 7,000 folks in there that quilt on all types of different machines and will share, struggles and rewards and methods. And, I quilt for hire and what about this and, things like that. So the page is, Jen Eskridge Quilts.
Awesome. Kathy, I think this will be on YouTube still as a live that it saves. I'm going to see. I didn't record this because I thought that I don't know how. Long story short, I didn't know how to do it. But my plan was if it is recorded, if there's a way that when I end the stream, I can save it. I will re-upload it on YouTube. But if there's questions, you can reach out to me or you can reach out to Jen and just go to quiltyquill.com and the contact us. That will go straight to Jen. And we can answer any questions you might have. It is on Facebook. Facebook holds the lives there for a bit.
Yeah. I am so excited. I just hope I hope quilters will all say, oh yeah, that looks tough, but I know I can break it down because I learned these steps or figured out this method. I don't know. Sometimes people get overwhelmed and you don't have to be overwhelmed. We'll break it down. It'll be great.
There's a lot to learn, especially if you've never digitized before.
But you can still do it in little chunks.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I love about you is little chunks. One little piece of
that should be my nickname. Hey, little chunks.
No, it's Jen the Fabulous. We already had.
Oh, that's right, Jen the Fabulous.
And a lot of people are new to Pro Stitcher, so it's like I have to learn Pro Stitcher, I have to learn Pro Stitcher Designer. You don't have to. You can come on, check out some of the free classes, and see this is you can kind of test before you get it. But there's not a great place out there to get designer help. Like I have some designer, very basic, like this is what designer does. But I have to tell you, I learned a lot of designer from Jen because I would call her being like, we're friends, help me.
There were a few texts. Are you busy right now? I can't get the outlines to go away. Yeah.
To the point where when Emily started and they were working together, she let Emily know Adam likes a phone call. He's not.
Yes, Adam prefers phone to text.
I need to talk to someone. I work from home. So, any final questions? Any final things you can think of? I just can't thank you enough for one, coming on the channel, for two, everything you've done for me over the years, because you're always looking out for me. But also for everything you do for the quilting community, because not only have probably a lot of these people have been using your designs and not knowing that those are ones that you've digitized, but you are always been somebody who is willing to help and lend a hand. And so being able to like go and do your passions and like be your own boss, I love it. I love it.
Yes, thank you.
You're a boss bee, but I can't say the B word because we're on live.
Okay.
I don't want to get canceled for saying the B word.
All right. All right.
You're a boss.
Sure. Yes, that's it. Boss bananas.
Boss bananas. Oh,
Right, thank you guys, and thanks for tuning in too.
Yeah, thanks everybody. We will see you next Tuesday. I don't know. Part of me is like, I'm just going to call up someone else and say, do you want to join me for a live?
What you need to do is go take a drawing class and say, oh yeah, that was not bad.
I do. There's some other classes that I want to take after I went and added them all to my card this morning. Yeah. All right. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Adam.
If you have questions, you can reach out to either of us. We're here to help. And at the end of the day, it's just quilting. We want to go. We want to quilt. We want to have fun. We want to digitize with our Pro Stitcher designer that we got with our thing. Hi, Kay. All right. Love you guys. Bye, kids. Think of a name for yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves. Bye, guys.